Hey everyone, welcome back to our channel, where we explore the insights from impactful books that can transform the way we think and act. Today, we've got something truly special for you, The Tipping Point by Malcolm Gladwell. Get ready to uncover the magic behind this incredible book that can change the way you see the world. All right, let's get started. Chapter 1, The 3 Rules of Epidemics. In the first chapter, The 3 Rules of Epidemics, Gladwell introduces us to the concept of the tipping point. He explains that epidemics, whether they are social trends, diseases, or ideas, share 3 key rules. The first rule is the law of the few, which states that a few individuals known as connectors, mavens, and salesmen play a disproportionately significant role in spreading the epidemic. Gladwell illustrates this with examples of people like Paul Revere, who played a crucial role in spreading the message of the American Revolution. The second rule is the stickiness factor, which is about making the message or idea memorable. Gladwell discusses how Sesame Street effectively made learning sticky for children through engaging content. The third rule is the power of context, which emphasizes that the environment and circumstances can significantly impact behavior. He explores the case of Goetz, who shot 4 young men on a New York City subway, highlighting how the context of the city influenced his actions. Chapter 2, The Law of the Few, Connectors, Mavens, and Salesmen. Chapter 2, The Law of the Few, delves deeper into the idea that a select group of individuals plays a pivotal role in making epidemics tip. Gladwell introduces us to connectors, people with vast social networks who connect various groups. Mavens, individuals who are information specialists and gather knowledge to share. And salesmen, who have persuasive communication skills. These 3 archetypes are essential in transmitting ideas and behaviors to the masses. Gladwell provides anecdotes about real-life connectors, mavens, and salesmen, such as Paul Revere, Lois Weisberg, and Tom Gow. He emphasizes that understanding these roles can help us identify key influencers in our networks and leverage their abilities for spreading messages effectively. By highlighting the significance of these individuals, Gladwell encourages readers to recognize and appreciate the power of social connectors and influencers in our lives. Chapter 3, The Stickiness Factor, Sesame Street, Blue's Clues, and the Educational Virus. In Chapter 3, titled The Stickiness Factor, Gladwell explores the critical aspect of making ideas or messages sticky. In other words, memorable and impactful. He begins with a fascinating discussion of children's television programs like Sesame Street and Blue's Clues. These shows have successfully embedded educational content in an engaging and unforgettable manner. Gladwell introduces the concept of stickiness as the quality that allows a message to make a lasting impression and remain with the audience long after they've encountered it. He shares the story of how the creators of Sesame Street used research and creativity to make learning entertaining, making it stick in children's minds. He also mentions the importance of making messages concrete and relatable, as exemplified by the success of the KFC test, a simple and memorable way to identify key concepts. By examining these examples, Gladwell underscores the idea that for an idea or message to tip and create an epidemic, it must be both contagious and memorable. This chapter teaches us the importance of crafting messages and ideas that have a lasting impact on our audience. Chapter 4, The Power of Context, Part 1, Goetz and the Rise and Fall of New York City Crime. Chapter 4, titled The Power of Context, Part 1, takes us on a journey through the complex world of social dynamics and the influence of the environment on behavior. Gladwell tells the gripping story of Goetz, who shot 4 young men on a New York City subway, and how this incident was a catalyst for understanding the power of context. Gladwell demonstrates how the context of New York City in the 1980s, characterized by high crime rates and a sense of urban decay, contributed to Goetz's actions. He discusses the broken windows theory, which suggests that visible signs of disorder and neglect can lead to an increase in crime. In this context, Goetz's actions were seen as a response to the prevailing environment. The chapter underscores that small changes in the environment can have a profound impact on behavior. It challenges us to consider how we can positively influence behavior by altering the context and making small, strategic adjustments. It's a powerful lesson in understanding the role of environment and context in shaping our actions and decisions. Chapter 5. The Power of Context. Part 2. The Magic Number 150. Continuing the exploration of the power of context in Chapter 5, The Power of Context, Part 2, Gladwell introduces the concept of the magic number 150. He discusses how social groups and communities tend to function most effectively when they consist of approximately 150 individuals. Gladwell highlights the research of anthropologist Robin Dunbar, who found that the human brain seems to have a cognitive limit on the number of stable social relationships we can maintain. This limit is estimated to be around 150, which is often referred to as Dunbar's number. When groups stay within this range, they can maintain more meaningful connections and cooperation. By understanding the significance of this magic number, we gain insights into the dynamics of social groups, organizations, and communities. It prompts us to consider the optimal size for effective collaboration and how we can structure our social networks for success. By Chapter 6. Case Study, Rumors, Sneakers, and the Power of Translation. Chapter 6, titled Case Study, Rumors, Sneakers, and the Power of Translation, delves into real-world examples of how ideas spread and gain momentum. Gladwell explores the fascinating world of social epidemics by discussing how rumors, trends, and innovations are translated and adapted in various contexts. Gladwell provides the case of the Hush Puppies brand, which experienced a resurgence in popularity due to the efforts of a few influential individuals. He explains how trends can be sparked by the actions of a small group of people who have the ability to translate an idea into something accessible and appealing to a broader audience. The chapter emphasizes the importance of understanding the role of translation and adaptation in the spread of ideas and behaviors. It teaches us that successful communication requires making the message relatable and relevant to different audiences, just as the Hush Puppies example demonstrated. This insight can be applied to marketing, communication, and the dissemination of ideas in our own lives. Chapter 7. Case Study, Suicide, Smoking, and the Search for the Unsticky Cigarette. Chapter 7, titled Case Study, Suicide, Smoking, and the Search for the Unsticky Cigarette, delves into the challenges of making behaviors unsticky, particularly when it comes to negative habits like smoking. Gladwell explores how the context and perception of an activity can either encourage or discourage it. Gladwell discusses the high suicide rates in Micronesia and the link to the practice of clustering, where suicide appears to spread contagiously within a community. He also addresses the issue of smoking and how making cigarettes unattractive and less sticky can reduce tobacco use. The chapter underscores the importance of changing the perception and context surrounding behaviors we want to discourage. By making harmful behaviors less appealing and socially unacceptable, we can effectively combat them. This principle can be applied to public health campaigns and efforts to address various societal issues. Chapter 8. Conclusion. Focus, Test, and Believe. In the final chapter, Conclusion, Focus, Test, and Believe. Gladwell wraps up the book by highlighting key principles for creating social epidemics. He emphasizes the importance of focus, testing, and belief in the potential for change. Gladwell discusses the necessity of concentrating efforts on a specific target audience or area to achieve a tipping point. He also stresses the importance of testing and refining ideas to ensure they resonate with the intended audience. The chapter concludes with a message of belief in the power of small actions to create significant impacts when applied consistently. Gladwell encourages readers to have faith in their ability to effect change and to apply the principles learned throughout the book. This chapter serves as a motivational call to action, inspiring us to take the lessons from the tipping point and apply them in our own lives and endeavors. It reminds us that with focus, testing, and belief, we can be catalysts for positive change in our communities and beyond. Now let's talk about 3 key accountability lessons we can draw from The Tipping Point. 1. Take personal responsibility for the change you want to see. 2. Surround yourself with the right people who can help you spread your ideas. 3. Continuously test and adapt your strategies to achieve success. And here are 3 leadership takeaways to apply these lessons. 1. Foster a culture of accountability within your team or organization. 2. Identify and empower your connectors, mavens, and salesmen. 3. Encourage innovative thinking and adaptability in your leadership approach. And that's a wrap for today's exploration of The Tipping Point by Malcolm Gladwell. I hope you found these insights as fascinating and inspiring as I did. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to show your support by giving it a thumbs up and sharing it with your friends and colleagues. For more eye-opening content like this, make sure to subscribe and turn on those notifications. Thanks for joining me today. And remember, the magic of The Tipping Point is now in your hands. Let's make a difference together.